Welcome back to the Big Money Podcast. I'm your host, Jeanine Hurte, and this week is going to be insane. As you can tell, I am not in Montenegro any longer. And in the meantime, I actually did go to Tel Aviv in Israel, and this is a really insane story I'm sharing today, and I hope it gives you so much inspiration to follow your impulses no matter what. It is one of my life mantras, impulse, jump, go. I know the moment I have an inspiration to do something, I have to act on it. I know that the energy is only available for 24 hours for me to bring this miracle I'm feeling in my gut, in my intuition, to fulfill this for 24 hours. And afterwards, the idea moves on to somebody else, right? And we all know that this is true because so often you have an idea, you have an impulse, and you do not act on it. And then you see somebody else who actually had the same idea, but they acted on it, and maybe they've created a business or something else out of it. And then you say, it's like, I feel they stole my idea. And it's just not correct, that viewpoint, in my eyes. Because in my world, we are all coming from source. We're all coming from creator, meaning we are all one, right? In this concept of being all one, it means we are connected to the same energy, to the same inspiration, to the same field, to the same room of ideas, creations, and miracles. So what happens is energy is coming in, things are moving, we are always evolving, right? Because it's either you grow or you die. So society over its whole existence always grew, always developed, always improved in a way. And this is true for us. So this is a natural rhythm that is basically in the air. And that being said, it means ideas, inspirations are available for all of us. However, they move to one person. That person receives an intuitive hit. And now that person basically has 24 hours to decide, am I acting on it or not? And if that person does not act on that idea, it moves and goes to the next person until somebody acts on it. It is very simple. It is very easily. And if you understand from the creator's perspective, the universal perspective, it's so genius because it's like, I want the world to become a better place. And at the same time, I'm giving you all children, right, the possibility to be part of it, to support that movement. However, I am not attached to one particular person to improve the world. So everybody has the same chances in a way to tap into the ideas, portals, the inspiration. And the more we do that, the faster we do it, that is what creates insane wealth. It is not like the money. It is you receive ideas, and how fast you are acting on those ideas determines how wealthy you become. And I will share more about this in next week's episode when I'm really giving you like some behind the scenes and decoding my last 2-day life event, spiritually gifted and paid big times, and what has happened, because that story is gonna blow your mind. Like the magic I'm gonna share, these are the stories you can't make them up. They have to come from a higher source than you do. So we're going to keep that story for next week. It will come more wealth-oriented. So coming back to my Israel story and why I ended up in Israel, I journaled in the beginning of the year that I really wanted to attend a live event by David Guillaume. And most of his events are happening in the US. And since I'm in my green card process, I cannot enter the US currently. So I'm like, if he ever has an event outside of the US, I will go. And a couple months ago, I was in Berlin and I saw he had a live event in London. And I'm like checking the flights, checking accommodations, like nothing seemed like flow, nothing seemed like ease. And I'm like, at this point, I'm also not a fan of London anymore. Sorry, any British people, but I feel right now the UK is a lost country. It's a story for another day. So I have no strong ambition of like, hey, London, cool city, how I used to when I was a kid. So to make it short, I didn't go because it just didn't feel easy. I was not looking for any more reasons. I'm like, nah, it's not it. So there we are in Montenegro, and I'm seeing that David Guillaume is having a live event in Tel Aviv. And from Montenegro to Tel Aviv, there are like 3 daily nonstop flights. It's 2 hours. I'm like, I'm going. So my husband is already like a little bit really like, this whole time we're not going to the Middle East. We always said like, it's not a wise decision. Go to a country which is actively in a war. And you never know when this like full Middle East bomb is exploding. And we're people that don't really watch the news. And something happened. Like my husband was kind of like on the Israel life ticker of what's happening. So we both had plane tickets booked. We both had this like digital visa we needed. We had our event tickets. And all of a sudden, like he's like checking this like news ticker, right, about what's happening the whole time. And there was an attack on the airport and a bomb here and there and there and there. And I'm just like, I really felt like I'm in my God zone. I'm in my bubble. I'm protective. And he said, I'm not coming. I do not feel safe. And I'm like, right, like you're saying this now, just literally 12 hours before we're supposed to go, after we've booked all the flights and everything. And I'm like, it's cool next time if you just make up your mind a little bit earlier. And he said simply, I don't feel safe. And I'm like, I feel super safe. I feel so called. I gotta go no matter what. No matter what, I gotta go. I felt that this was such an intuitive pull also to show the creator and myself how powerful I am. And when I am committed to something, there is nothing that can stop me from accomplishing that. So there I am, naive world traveler as I am, who has never been to Israel before. And usually I'm at the airport maybe 90 minutes before. I don't like to hang out too much at the airport. But that morning, I don't know, something in me said like, why don't we just already go to the airport? My husband dropped me off at the airport like 3 hours before. I'm like, I'm just going to chill out at the airport. When you go to Israel, it's not like you're going to any other country. I was at inspection for an hour. They literally asked me like what I'm doing. I was sharing everything. They did go through my Telegram messages with my VIP clients. They opened my tampons. They go through every bag. They told me, I'm like, is there something wrong with me? And she's like, I feel like a criminal. I'm like, no, this is normal procedure. I'm like, oh, this is normal procedure. Interesting. So I make it to Israel. This whole travel experience going to Israel was already intense. I've never have experienced anything like that. If you've been to the US, it can get uncomfortable, but it's nothing compared to traveling to Israel. So I arrived and it's like, I have to be honest, this country like broke me. It just broke me. How it looked, how dirty it was, how I just felt like it's like smell of pee. My nose is so sensitive. It's just so wild. It's like this whole city smells like pee. Like what's happening here? So I'm going to the event. I'm having literally massive breakthroughs at the event. I'm sitting in the room. I'm like crying, like I've made it. This is all that matters. If this event is gone insane or not, it doesn't matter. I felt it was so important for me and my soul to just come and make it to Israel no matter what. So the event is over. That was a Saturday. And all of a sudden, my credit cards were not working. I'm like, that's so interesting. It's just so interesting. And I'm there at this point. I'm like, just laughing, whatever. You know, like at this point, there's just so many wild things happened on this journey. I'm just laughing. So I had literally on one crypto card, I think like $20 left, which I could use. Because also I couldn't wire money to the bank card I had because it was a weekend. It wouldn't arrive till Monday. If you've ever been to Israel, I thought it was one of the priciest places I've ever been. Food I thought was insane for for very low quality. Even like a doner kebab, which I don't know, was like $15. It's not about the $15, but it's like fast make. It's like kind of paying for a Big Mac $15. I'm like, interesting. So I found myself on a banana diet. I had 2 bananas a day. Because I remember like, okay, with the money I have, I'm going to last the next days on my insane banana diet. So that was intense. Water, bananas. And I'm like, of course, bring it on. Like if there's cleaning, fasting, like this is a perfect moment to clean and cleanse my whole system and like my mind, my heart, my soul, so different aspects. I'm like, just bring it all on. Like really, nothing could shock me anymore. I'm just laughing. I'm also learning to trust more and more the creator and the universe. That literally everything is always working out for me. There's always going to be a way. Like literally something always opened up. And I'm like, okay, what's my lesson to learn here? So I'm like journaling, meditating, downloading, just literally writing everything down. And also add the impulse that in 2 days, I want to leave. I wanted to go to Jerusalem on a trip. And something in me just said, like, don't, just go, just leave now. And in the end, I was so happy again. I listened instantly to my impulse because I would have been still in Jerusalem. And right now, we all know what's happening in Israel. There's no way to leave the country. The air traffic, just the air room is closed, right? So I'm like, I exactly had that time of window where it was relatively peaceful to go and relatively easy to come in and out. And there were so many lessons I wrote down I want to share with you that happened because I followed my impulse, no matter the resistance that's coming up. Really learning on a deeper level is, I have this here, that whatever is blocking me right now in thinking bigger got cleansed for me. And a massive part of that was money. I always thought I needed money to create something big, right? Or at least some money. And it really showed me, like, the downloads I've received, the ideas, the impulses for the business, which I cashed in literally the next week into a $400,000 sales. Next video, I'm going to share more about this. All came from that. And the biggest lesson was, you don't need money to create more money. Like, it really taught me how much more, how bigger can I think, and where are my current limitations. And part of that was definitely still a part of money, right? Because who would believe, let's build my dream villa with no money? Most people instantly would say, but I don't have the money. Going to the buts. Really, in this whole situation in this Israel trip, being by myself, navigating through everything myself, I'm like, wow, it's just all mindfuck. I saw this so clearly. I just felt it. I'm like, wow, it's just all mindfuck. And that was so insane. And I'm just so grateful for that lesson, right? To receive that. The other part that happened already before was I gave a massive cheers to closing, in a way, my old business, or the fall of my old business. Because everything I've done in the last month just felt, or years, actually felt so heavy. The price points were way too low, like having offers, like the paid podcast version, so many things I've offered. I'm like, I don't even believe in it. I do not believe that, to be honest, any coaching below $100,000 is actually truly impacting you positively in a very long term. Because when we pay attention. And I see this over and over again. I still remember my very first $15,000 coaching. That was the first massive step. I remember my $250,000 coachings and the impact it has created, and $100,000 coachings. All the other coachings, it was like nice, but it was like a Netflix watching. Like, it hasn't truly changed my life, my business. It was nice. It was a little bit of growth. But I'm never looking just for a little bit of growth. So I'm like, why am I even having those dumping prices? And for me, it clearly, like, I saw this so clearly in my journey. I'm like, I've entered the US market. Everybody was having like such low ticket prices on their coaching offers compared to Germany, where I'm originally coming from. And I'm like, what's happening here? And I'm like, this is weird. Why are the prices so low? I've hired American business coaches, and they're like, clearly, like, you're missing a mid-sized ticket offer. Anything between like 2,000 and like basically 10,000. I'm like, what am I going to even create for such a low ticket price? Like, it's an online course I can do. So that's what I've done. But I'm like, I don't even believe in that. Like, if there's anything like highly strategic, like a step-by-step, click here, I think online courses are perfect, right? It's like, in a way, it's like a well-structured YouTube video. I think online programs are perfect. You do not need me, anybody else, to show that live to you. It's perfect on a video. You pause, you stop, you find everything out. However, the work I do, like, we work with energy, like we work with energetics, we work with strategy. Like, for me, really to tap into your energy and to see your spiritual gift and how to turn them into $50,000 offers, it's very important that I see how you interact. And I see this over and over again. So I'm like, I'm having programs I do believe in, but it's not like nurturing my soul. And I think it's very important that we ask us, how is it that I want to earn the money I receive? And I was clear, I want this happening to life coaching, life interacting with people. I actually don't care about passive income. It's just another like fancy thing I followed on the internet. It's beautiful, right? But it's nothing that nurtures my soul. So there were so many things that came like full circle, full completeness. And with that clarity, leaving Israel, flying to Georgia, of like, hey, this is what's happening. This is where we are going. I've created something insane. Little did I know that it's going to be so insane. And I will share that with you in the next video. I love you. Talk to you next week.